discuss parity prices of stocks and bonds and conversion ratio and that kind of jazz. Essentially, we're going to talk about convertible bonds and figure out if it makes sense to convert or not. So convertible bonds and convertible preferred stock give the holder the right to convert the preferred stock or the bonds into common stock, which is a massive benefit. That's why usually the convertible bonds and the convertible preferred stock are going to actually pay you the least dividend-wise or interest-wise. So a lot of times the question will say that they will give you, let's say, a conversion price. That means at what price can you convert the various, that's like the price at which the common stock can be converted from the bonds. But it's a little confusing to explain, but the easiest way to think about it is this. If you take the par value of the preferred stock or the bond, so if it's a bond, it's generally going to be 1,000. If it's preferred stock, it could vary. A lot of times it's 100. I've seen it at 50, 25, etc. So if you could take 1,000 divided by the conversion price, that gives you conversion ratio. So the conversion ratio is essentially how many shares of common will I get by converting one bond or converting one share of preferred stock. So for example, let's say the conversion price is 20 and it's a convertible bond. Par value of a bond is 1,000. 1,000 divided by 20 is 50. So we have a conversion ratio of 50. So every bond we can convert into 50 shares of preferred stock. So now, what does that mean? Essentially, the bond and the stock need to be trading in tandem, in sync, in parity. Because if something can be converted into 50 of something else, it's probably going to trade at a 50-to-1 ratio all the time. So if one thing's worth 1, the other thing should be worth 50. If the other thing's worth 10, the other thing should be worth 500, and so on, right? So now we can basically calculate what's called the parity price of the common stock or the parity price of the bond, which essentially means what should this thing be trading at given it has a 50-to-1 conversion ratio. So for example, if the bond's currently trading at 1,200, the parity price of the common stock would be 1,200 divided by 50. If the common stock is currently trading at, 40, what should the, that's probably a little high, but whatever. Let's say it's trading at 22. The parity price of the bond should be 22 times 50, right? Now, sometimes they may ask, the the bond is trading at 10% over parity. What do? You do the same process, 22 times 50, and then you just add that times 1.1, right? Now, when does it make sense? It's an easier way to think about it also. If you're going to the parity price of the bond, you multiply. If you're going to parity price of the stock, you divide, right? Now, what about if you need to figure out if something should be converted, right? So for example, let's say that there's a 50-to-1 conversion ratio. And let's say that the stock is selling at $20 and the bond is selling at, let's say, 1,100, right? 1,100. Hopefully I do the math right in my head here. So in this case, if you were to convert, the value you would have per share would be 1,100 divided by 50. 1,100 divided by 50, if my math is not failing me, should be 22. So now you're getting $22 of value, and you could sell the stock at 20. Would you want to do that? Hell no. Why would you want to do that? It would only make sense if the stock was selling at a higher value than the converted would be selling at a higher value than the converted share. So if you can convert and get $22 of value and the stock was trading at 24, then obviously it makes sense to convert and sell. Generally speaking, the convertible instrument will, like in real life, will sell at a little bit above parity because of the fact that you're also getting like a fixed coupon or a fixed dividend rather than a common stock that may not even be getting a dividend. So that's just kind of just a little quick fact. Hope this helps. Please like and subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.